Hi, everybody. Uh, man, it's been a wild ride these past couple days. I actually had enough energy to walk from my campsite up to this little spot, and I'm sitting on a rock here, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful right now to God. And I'm in awe of what He can do with once I surrender my will to Him, what He can do. So I'm kind of falling into a routine up here at Mesquite Springs Campground where I work weekends. So I worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday last week, which wow. By Sunday night, I was exhausted. I haven't worked that much. Well, when I was in my house, I was working like a small part time job from my computer, auditing phone calls for a company, sitting at my computer. And, I would walk from the bed to the computer and, from the computer to the couch. So, that work was more mental and, computer. But, and this is a little more physical. I'm still not walking. I'm driving the van around the campground to do the rounds because I have to pull off the tags and talk to people and stuff like that. And so I'm still doing that, but I'm doing a little bit more walking every day, kind of building up a little bit of stamina at least. So that's good and positive. And so I worked, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I rested Monday. And then and then Tuesday night, I drove down to Texas Springs and spent the night there and got internet and did my Walmart order. And then yesterday was Wednesday and I went to Pahrump. And so now what I do is I go to Starbucks and I sit outside and I can get Wi-Fi. So then and cell service. So I can research and I can answer phone calls and I can answer texts and I can answer emails and I can do all that stuff. And I didn't have a video done to upload. So I was like, darn it. But I was able to get in touch with Enterprise and I talked to them about buying the van that I'm driving right now because I thought, cool, I don't react to it, but it's too expensive for me. It's the top of the line. But they hooked me up with their salespeople in Henderson, Nevada, which is an hour and a half from Pahrump. So I talked to them and I have an appointment. I'm going down there. I'm going to do the same thing next week. I'm going to rest Monday. I'm going to drive down to Texas Springs on Tuesday night. And then I'm going to, on Wednesday, I'm going to drive to Henderson. Or wait, I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to go to Henderson on Wednesday and I'm not sure. I got to camp somewhere. And then, yeah, I'll probably drive. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but anyway, I'm going to Henderson to the Enterprise rental to look at their inventory. And I told them my credit rating and I told them what the down payment I'm going to have because I got some of the money from my house. Finally, yay! I didn't get it all yet, but I did get some of it. And so they think that they're going to be able to, help me finance it and I'll be able to return my van right there. And I can have a 2-hour test drive and then they have a 7-day buyback guarantee. So if I take it off the lot and I react to it, sleeping in it overnight, I can just bring it back. So that's what I'm going to do. And obviously I'm going to try to find a mechanic to take it to in that time period. So right now that's my plan for a vehicle. And that's going to be huge, you guys, because I won't be paying $286 a week for a rental van, which basically takes up my whole Social Security disability check. So it'll be more affordable for me, obviously. And So I'm so grateful for that. And so I just ask you to please pray about that for me. If you're the praying sort. I also have another huge blessing to talk about. Gloris and her husband, Dave, came up here once, and then they just came again. They came today, and both times brought me supplies. Gloris made a drawing of me, and then this time she made a drawing of my campsite, and just so what a blessing, to have a visitor, to feel cared about. We prayed before they left. It was great. Um, so I'm just, I'm tired. I'm tired today. I'm achy. I can taste chemicals in my mouth because I went to town yesterday. Even though I didn't go in Walmart, I did go in Big Five Sporting Goods because I wanted to get a hose for my camp stove so that I can get a big tank of propane and not be using those little green tanks. And you guys, I couldn't tolerate propane at all when I was in my moldy house. I had a propane stove and I couldn't even use it. I had to get a hot plate and use that because and a toaster oven because I couldn't use the propane at all. It made me super sick. But outdoors, I can tolerate it. So, I haven't been doing a lot of cooking because those green tanks, they run out so fast and I'm super far from civilization, you know what I mean? So I'm excited about that. I have a dental, so that tooth that I got pulled in Montana, those of you who've been watching all my videos know about. I mean, it was unbelievable. I got that root canal tooth and it took 2 hours, and anyway, it hurt forever afterwards. Well, now I have I can't really show you because it's inside, way up inside my mouth, but I have a bump there and it hurts. So, and he did tell me, he was like, you might have some stuff come out of this wound. He goes, because there's a lot of junk up in there. And I'm like, great. Well, of course, it's all healed up now, but now this bump hurts. And I want to say it's an abscess. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a piece of bone. I don't know if it's a piece of something that they stuck up there from the root canal, but it's a little swollen and it hurts. So I did spend some time yesterday trying to find a dentist and in Pahrump, and I couldn't. So I'm going to try to figure out if I can find a dentist in Henderson or near Henderson, so that I can maybe get somebody to help me with this, because at this point I'm considering just taking a needle and stab. I mean, if I had a real scalpel and some tweezers, I would slice it and yank whatever that is out by myself. I really would. But I don't, and I don't have anybody to help me, so I'm not really too concerned about infection, because if there's infection in there festering now, I got to get out whatever that is. And then I've been doing all of my stuff that I do, I take Allibiotic by now. I highly recommend that. It's a really good natural antibiotic type thing. I swish with colloidal silver, and so I'm doing those measures, but ultimately I'm going to need some sort of dental care. And I did get from the health food store lady in Pahrump, I got the name of a biological dentist, or at least a good dentist, somewhere near Vegas. So I do have that number, and I'm going to try to get that situation started, because the bottom line, guys, is my body was toxic. And I've talked about this over and over, but there's a whole bunch of different points of entry for toxins. And one of them was my mouth. And, I still have amalgams that I need to get those out. The root canals were, those are toxic too. So, but it's, slow and steady wins the race. I'm just trying to get the toxins out, one at a time, little by little. Obviously, it was huge to get out of the moldy environment. It's huge not just knowing, right? Not using toxic products anymore. You know, being out here in the desert is huge too. So I'm just, my theory is that if I, remove all the toxins from my body will heal. And it's not just my theory. And there's plenty of people who believe that. Uh, so that's where I'm at today. I'm just, I'm tired because I went to town. I'm feeling super grateful. But another thing is I've been craving protein. I've been craving meat, which I was basically vegan. I was raw vegan, as much raw as I could get. There are certain things I couldn't tolerate. I've talked about this before. My colon is extremely compromised, so I have to be very careful what I put in my body. But I started eating, so I ate chicken wings. Remember, I was excited, so I did that. I ate chicken wings again. And then last night, I actually ate some smoked turkey. And that was good. I mean, everything is good. So I'm excited about that. And, I don't know. This is what I know. I know that my body tells me when I need something, I'll start to crave it, and I'm listening to those cravings now. Like I was craving chicken, I was craving, meat. So, and I'm a little worried to try eating beef. I don't really like pork or whatever, but I was worried to eat beef. I might try it if I, see what happens, but basically kind of maybe like a paleo type diet where whatever vegetables and fruits I can tolerate, and then whatever meats, obviously, the best meat I can find and afford, and eggs. So I don't know, that's just me. And I have some other big things coming up. I'm starting my book finally, and I'm pretty excited about that and everything to come, surrounding that. So yeah, actually I came up here to write and pray, and it's not far away from my campsite, but I just kind of felt like I needed to, I don't know, get even further into nature. Just, I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But I'm also grateful for talking to some friends and family yesterday. I got on a video call with my friend Kim and some of her kids, and that just I'm telling you, it just really made my day to see their cute little faces. And yeah, so it's just what I have to go through is crazy. Like the Walmart people that deliver the groceries, that bring them outside, they're getting used to me now, because I always say to them, can you leave an empty cart over here? Because what I do is I have to open every single package, single thing they bring out to me that's in a cardboard box. I have to get that cardboard off because I cannot put it in my van because it's so scented, because the cardboard soaks up whatever scents are in Walmart. And right now, because they have so many of those scent cubes, scentsy type thing, I used to love that stuff. But because of the holidays, there's pine, there's pumpkin, I used to love it, but it's toxic. It's super toxic. So I beg you, if you have one of those wax cube burners in your house, throw it away. Throw away the wax melts. Throw all that away, because all of that stuff is toxic. It's chemicals. You're breathing it in. It's the same thing as eating it, right? Your mucous membranes are absorbing the chemicals. They're going into your brain. They're going into your bloodstream. You're putting stress on your liver, stress on your kidneys, stress on your heart. That's all that stuff's toxic. So anyway, I'm out there. I open everything and I put it all into a cart, and then I'm like, hey, you kids, can you take this away? And I offered to give them money. I'm like, here, can I give you a tip? They're like, no, like, this is our job. And they've seen me do it now 3 times, and they're like, oh, it's just her again. You know what I mean? And I think because I'm nice to them and whatever, they're just like, whatever, it's that weird lady again in the van. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, it is what it is. And so even then, even doing all that, I have to put then that stuff, put it back inside the Walmart bags and tie the Walmart bags up. Then I have to put the Walmart bags inside of a garbage bag and tie that up because the bags themselves smell. So, and I use those as little garbage bags and whatnot. So when I bring them back here, I hang them up and I off gas them in the desert sun before I can even put them back in my van. I mean, so when I get home from like grocery shopping, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. And last night though, when I got home, I parked over in Furnace Creek and I went and took a shower in Furnace Creek on my way up here, which actually was good because it broke up the drive. You know, I drove from Pahrump to Furnace Creek, is about an hour and 15 minutes. I pulled over, went and took a hot shower and then got back in my car and drove the rest of the way. But I was super tired. I probably should have just slept down there last night. Because by the time I was getting up here, I was driving, I started getting so tired, I was almost confused and I was like, "Oh my gosh, did I take a wrong turn? This just seems like it's taking forever." But the GPS was telling me, 22 more minutes or whatever. So, another thing I've discovered for driving is listening to Audible books. So, that makes the time go by a little bit faster. So that's what's going on. I'm so grateful for all of you who watch these videos, who care. I ask you to pray because I really believe that God gave me like a download this morning. It's weird. I don't hear, God's voice or anything. That's not what it's like. It's more like inspiration in my heart and then an idea in my head. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe if those of you who are in 12-step programs, maybe you kind of understand what I mean. And I'm very clear now about what God's purpose is for me. I understand. I'm going to cry. I understand why he spared my life now. He's answering my prayer. He's answering the cry of my heart, which when I was in my house and I was bedridden, my prayer over and over was, honestly, day and night, I prayed that he would just take me to heaven. I did. I just prayed that he would take me to heaven and get me out of my misery because I was in so much misery and I was so sick and I was in pain and I was so sad. And, I prayed day and night for him to take me to heaven. And then, someone pointed out to me, if he was going to do that, he probably already would have done it. And I was like, ugh. So I changed my prayer to God, if it's not your will, right, to take me to heaven, then help me, show me what you want me to do. Use me because I am so broken down and beaten up that I have nothing to live for but you, right? I have nothing to live for but God now. So I'm like, show me what you want me to do. And I believe that, 8 months of living off the grid, living in a van, living without electricity, just the struggle's real, folks. But I believe that this morning when I woke up, that oftentimes that'll happen to me. I had kind of like an inspiration, and I'm going to have to make a whole video about that. But please pray for me and pray about that. And just God bless you all. And like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell because I've been trying to be consistent about the videos, but it's so hard. But now that I'm in one spot and I'm starting to go to town once a week, I think that I'll be able to be more consistent about posting videos. Yeah, so that's what's going on. And thank you very much for watching and for being on this journey with me.